Second Elder Zhao saw so many spirit stones. His expression softened a little. Your Luo clan is considered lucky. My elder brother's concubine is about to give birth, so you should pray that she gives birth to a son. Otherwise, even if I speak up for you again, I'm afraid that my elder brother will destroy your Luo clan. No matter what, thank you very much. Luo Pingxing wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. He knew that even though Second Elder Zhao said this, it was highly unlikely that he would really destroy the Luo family. He just had to give up his wealth. Second Elder Zhao left Fengli City overnight with Zhao Lizi's body. Luo Pingxing ordered for Luo Yan to be locked up in the courtyard. No one was allowed to visit her. The next morning, Mo Shouting came to visit. Master Luo, I'm here to see Second Elder Zhao. Didn't you say that you were going to marry Feng Chao today? Our Mo residence has already made preparations. Why is there no sign of the Zhao family? Mo Shouting went straight to the point. Luo Pingxing's expression was ugly. Second Elder Zhao has returned to Jianfeng City for an urgent matter. Just wait for his news. We still have some matters to attend to. Please do as you wish. Mo Shouting looked at Luo Pingxing suspiciously. The Zhao family has left? What's going on? Luo Pingxing was frustrated and did not have the mood to deal with Mo Shouting. If you want to ask, go ask the Zhao family. Send them off. Mo Shouting scoffed. Luo Pingxing, good. You've really turned hostile. After speaking, Mo Shouting stormed off angrily. It had to be said that Mo Ziyading's acting was quite good. Luo Pingxing did not suspect that the Mo family had anything to do with this. After returning to the Mo family home, Mo Shouting laughed for a full 15 minutes in the study room. Wonderful. Feng Chao, well done. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. Grandfather, don't be too happy yet. Although things are progressing smoothly, the crisis hasn't been resolved yet. Although Zhao Lizi was dead, the Zhao family still had other males. After Zhao Lizi's mourning period was over, the Zhao family would definitely come knocking on their door and ask for his hand in marriage. Moreover, since the Zhao family didn't fall out with the Luo family yesterday, it's likely that the Zhao family won't do anything to the Luo family. At most, they will just compensate us. Mo Shouting nodded. You have a point. What should we do next? The Luo family must be facing internal and external problems. They are in chaos. Immediately, spend a large sum of money to recruit guards and eliminate the Luo family. After annexing the Luo family, even if the Zhao family wants to seek revenge, we still have the power to fight them. Not to mention, we have the geographical advantage. Yun Chujia's eyes darkened. It was finally time to close the net. Luo Shi, you caused me to be separated from my family and friends. I will let your family die with you. Mo Shouting was silent for a moment before he gritted his teeth and said, Fine. We will do as you say. What else do we need to prepare? When the time comes, the Zhao family will most likely use the talisman supply to threaten other families and get them to help us. So, we need to secretly recruit talisman masters. If we can't do it, we will have to pay a high price. As long as the money is in place, we will definitely be able to recruit them. Lastly, we must not let my uncle and the others know about what we are doing, especially not my father. Otherwise, it will be easy for all our efforts to go down the drain. Mo Ziyading's face was burning with anger. He raised both his hands and feet in agreement with Yun Chujia's words. The three idiots weren't good enough to do anything, they were more than good enough to ruin everything. If they knew about this, they would only ruin everything. After Yun Chujio and Mo Shouting finished their discussion, they hopped back to Tingxian. As soon as they entered the house, they saw Di Baiming staring at her coldly with his dead fish eyes. Di Baiming received the news from Infeng that Yun Chujio had actually agreed to the Zhao family's marriage and even wantonly bought wedding clothes. He was so angry that he could not find his bearings. Although Yun Chujio had previously told him that even if there was a marriage contract, it would be fake and she would resolve it, he still rushed over day and night. If he wanted to snatch his wife, he was simply courting death. Of course, what he did not know was that his little Black Lotus wife had destroyed that so-called fiancé within minutes. When Yun Chujio saw Di Baiming, her heart was filled with joy. However, when she thought of the voice transmission talisman from the last time and saw Di Biming staring at her dead fish eyes, her little face sank. Oh my, isn't this someone who abandoned me? Which demonic wind blew you here? Yun Chujio crossed her arms and leaned against the door, pouting as she said. Di Biming had already thought it through. The black thing was forced. If she explained properly, he would not bother with her. Who would have thought that Yun Chujio's mouth would be filled with guns and sticks? His expression became even darker. I abandoned you? Didn't you already agree to someone else's marriage? I heard that you even bought wedding clothes. Are you complaining that I came at a bad time? Nonsense. Who did you hear it from? Yun Chujio's heart skipped a beat. How did the gigolo know about my matters? Could it be that he had arranged a secret guard by my side? I naturally have a way to know what I want to know. Stop changing the topic. Shouldn't you explain it to me? Explain your head. You only know how to be jealous all the time. I was forced to do that, okay? Do you think I want to be related to a bastard? You still have the nerve to question me? Who came here in the middle of the night to break up? Who was the one who was like a wooden stake all the time? Who was the one who threw his face at me all the time? Pretty boy, ask yourself, what right do you have to question me? Yun Chujio's eyes turned red as she spoke. Although she was independent and strong-willed, she still felt weak and wronged in front of the people closest to her. Di Biming saw that Yun Chujio was about to cry and immediately became numb. He threw all his anger and face to the back of his mind. He jumped in front of Yun Chujio and hugged her in his arms. He said clumsily, I didn't say anything. Why are you crying? Yun Chujio cried out, what else do you want to say? You don't trust me, you bastard. You only know how to be jealous all the time. It's not that I don't trust you, I'm just angry. I'm angry at myself. If I'm strong enough, I can protect you. We won't have to suffer separation. It's all my fault that I'm too weak. Di Biming's eyes were filled with heartache and guilt. If he was strong enough, why would little Gio need to plan step by step? It was all because he was too weak. Yun Chujio was definitely a snob. When she saw Di Biming's heartache, she immediately pinched and hammered him. You gigolo, you say it well, but every time you stare at me with dead fish eyes to scare me. Before Yun Chujio could finish her words, she heard Di Biming grunt. Then, fresh blood oozed out from his chest. Are you injured? Yun Chujio was shocked and quickly took off Di Biming's shirt. There was a gaping wound on Di Biming's chest and he was bleeding profusely. Not only that, his body was full of wounds, some were deep and some were shallow. It was obvious that he was injured profusely. Yun Chujio hurriedly took out a pill to stop the bleeding from her storage ring and fed it to Di Biming. Then she sprinkled some powder on the wound. Are you stupid? Why aren't you applying the medicine? Yun Chujio was so angry that she gritted her teeth and asked fiercely. I was in a hurry when I rushed here. I didn't have time to take care of it. Besides, I'm already used to it. It'll be fine in 2 days. Di Biming said casually. You bastard! Do you know that you're mine? Your body is mine too. How dare you not cherish it? Let me tell you, if you really leave a scar all over your body, I won't have sex with you. Yun Chujio wiped her tears and said, this guy was very distressed. Di Biming had so many wounds on his body, which meant that he was in an extremely dangerous situation. Di Biming used his hand to gently wipe Yun Chujio's tears away. I'm really fine. Ever since I fainted and woke up, my body has changed. This little injury can't do anything to me. Yun Chujio's heart moved. You fainted? When did this happen? Di Biming saw that he had let the cat out of the bag, so he couldn't hide it anymore. Hence, he simply told her what had happened. That day, after Yun Chujio was taken away by manager Xia, Di Biming spat out a mouthful of fresh blood in a fit of rage and then fainted. Di Linhan and the others were badly frightened. They fed the pills and injected their spirit energy, but there was no effect at all. Di Biming's face had been as pale as paper, and his pulse had become extremely weak. The hall master's wife had been washing her face with tears all day long. When the old man of the Heaven Lake heard the news, he also rushed over and fed Di Biming the remaining level 15 Hun Dun Vitality pill. After taking the pill, Although Di Biming did not wake up, his pulse became stronger. Everyone let out a sigh of relief. However, the old man only had one Hun-Dun life pill, so everyone was helpless again. A month later, when the entire longevity palace was shrouded in a golden light, Di Biming opened his eyes. At that time, Feng was guarding Di Biming's bedroom, and he was directly knocked out by the surging spiritual power in his body. After Di Biming helped him channel the spirit energy in his body, the spirit energy of Feng, who had been unlucky for 10,000 years, had jumped from the 6th level of the Supreme Spirit Realm to the 9th level of the Profound Spirit Realm. When this fellow woke up, he almost went crazy with joy. The people in the Temple of Immortals had more or less increased their spirit energy, but it was not as obvious as Feng. When Di Linhan and the palace master's wife saw that Di Biming had woken up, they were naturally overjoyed, but they immediately realized that Di Biming had changed. His appearance was still the same, but his entire aura had become even colder, and even carried a hint of coldness. With just a glance, one would feel a sense of reverence from the bottom of one's heart. Coincidentally, Xue Wuji had rushed over when he heard the news that Yun Chujio had been taken away. This fellow did not know that Di Biming was no longer the same as before. The first thing he did was to curse. "You facial paralysis! You useless thing! I entrusted little sister Jio to you, yet you didn't protect her properly. If I knew this would happen, I would have brought little sister Jio to our blood devil sect, you piece of trash." Di Biming frowned and waved his hand. Xue Wuji, who was unprepared, was sent flying. He spat out a mouthful of blood and fainted. When everyone saw this, they quickly went forward to dissuade him. Di Biming only said 2 words indifferently, "Trash." At this moment, the welcoming light from the immortal essence continent descended. Di Biming dragged Feng and directly stepped into the welcoming light. When he saw the hall master's wife who was crying, he frowned and calmly said, "Take care." After that, he didn't say anything. Feng, who was originally extremely excited, was now flustered. This was because he was so unlucky that he did not expect to go to the immortal Yuan continent after his spiritual power had increased. Everything else was fine, but if he left, wouldn't he not be able to see Miss Jin Ji? Just before he was teleported, this fellow finally mustered up his courage and shouted loudly, "Jin, Miss Jin Ji, I will wait for you in the immortal Yuan continent. I will always be waiting for you." As soon as Feng finished his words, the guiding light disappeared, and Di Biming and Feng also disappeared. The heavy sadness of parting was instantly washed away by Feng's stroke of genius. Almost everyone turned to look at Jin Ji. Although Jin Ji was outgoing and cheerful, no matter how cheerful she was, it was still very uncomfortable to be confessed to in public, okay? Besides, Feng was an idiot. If you confessed, then confess. Why did you have to add the word miss after Jin Ji? It was very awkward, okay? After Di Biming and Feng arrived at the immortal Yuan continent, they started to search for information about Yun Chujio. Then, the incident from a few months ago happened. Yun Chujio's heart was suddenly in pain as Di Biming told her the story. She remembered that when she left, she did hear the hall master's wife's exclamation. At that time, she thought that she was hallucinating. She did not expect the pretty boy to vomit blood at that time. Yun Chujio hugged Di Biming's waist and sobbed, "Prince Charming, I did not know that you fainted. Otherwise, I would have thought of a way to delay for a period of time before leaving." Di Biming stroked Yun Chujio's hair and said, "Am I not fine now? It can be considered a blessing in disguise. Otherwise, based on my original cultivation progress, I would still need at least a year to see you." Yun Chujio wiped her tears and snot with Di Biming's sleeve and asked with a sobbing voice, "What is that golden light? Why are you emitting it? You are not made of gold." Di Biming saw the mess on his sleeve and the corner of his eyes twitched. He resisted the urge to push Yun Chujio away and said, "I don't know the details. It seems to be a seal in my body. Little Gio, I can't figure out some things right now, so I can't tell you. I'll tell you when I've figured things out." Yun Chujio had a great advantage, and that was that she was tactful. She saw that Di Biming didn't want to talk too much, so she changed the topic. "Brother Wuji is also concerned about me. Why did you hit him?" Besides, it's okay to hit him. Why did you hit him so hard? Di Baiming heard Yun Chujio say, beating him up is fine too. The corners of his mouth curled up. That idiot is too weak. I'm helping him by beating him up. I believe that he will soon ascend to the immortal Yuan continent. When that time comes, be it helping me or protecting you, it's a good choice. Although he's stupid and useless, he's still not bad. Yun Chujio immediately said happily, really? Brother Wu Ji is coming soon? That's great. It would be even better if Beauty Jin Ji could come too. Hearing Yun Chujio's words, the corners of Di Baiming's mouth twitched slightly as he said, Jin Ji should be coming soon too. Jin Ji's spiritual power is not as high as mine. How could she also ascend soon? Yun Chujio asked in puzzlement. It turned out that although Enfeng and Jin Ji had not broken through that layer of window paper, the two of them still had frequent interactions. On the same day, Jin Ji picked some fruits to give to Enfeng. Just as she walked out of Di Baiming's courtyard, she was knocked out by the sudden golden light. This guy had gotten a blessing in disguise. After he woke up, his spiritual power level had directly jumped to the 9th layer of Supreme Spirit Realm. However, because he had leveled up too much at once, he needed to stabilize himself for a period of time before he could continue cultivating. He estimated that it would not be long before he could also ascend. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. After listening to Di Baiming's story, Yun Chujio was so happy that she could not close her mouth. Then, she pouted and became unhappy. Fuck. After all this time, am I not the weakest? Initially, Jin Ji was at the bottom. But now they have all leveled up because of you. I am the weakest. Di Baiming was about to comfort her when he heard Yun Chujio continue, but it's nothing. Stupid birds fly first. Someone as powerful as me can definitely catch up later. Di Baiming. Little Jio, turn around. I need to change my clothes. Di Baiming saw that his clothes were not only stained with blood, but Yun Chujio's snot and tears were also on his sleeves. He felt really uncomfortable. He was ready to change into a clean set of clothes. Yun Chujio pouted, so what if I can peek? Besides, it used to be interesting. Now that there are scars on it, I can't be bothered to look. Just change. I promise I won't peek. Di Baiming had no choice but to turn around and change his clothes with his back facing Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio, this fellow, peeked openly. At first, she was teasing him, but when she saw that Di Baiming's back was also covered in scars, her eyes turned red. Damn it. I'm too weak now. If anyone dares to bully my man, I'll kill him. No, after the Luo and Zhao families' matters are settled, I must find an excuse to go out and train. Otherwise, how long will it take for me to become stronger? When Di Baiming changed his clothes and turned around, he saw Yun Chujio's eyes were as red as a rabbit's. Before Di Baiming could speak, Yun Chujio threw herself into his arms and cried again. Then, she used Di Baiming's sleeves as a handkerchief. Di Baiming did not have the time to care about his clothes getting dirty again. He asked anxiously, Little Jio, what's wrong? Sob, I'm too useless. I'm too useless. I can't fight with you side by side and you have to worry about me. I'm just a burden, idiot, I'm useless. It's natural for a man to protect a woman. I can't protect you well, I'm useless. No, I'm useless. I'm useless. I'm even worse than Jin Ji. I'm useless. The corner of Di Baiming's eyes twitched. He didn't know if Jin Ji would vomit blood from anger when she heard little Jio's words. Di Baiming comforted her for a long time. However, Yun Chujio probably had too many tears recently, so she cried endlessly. Moreover, she even cried in a cadence. Di Baiming really had no choice. He simply stuffed her mouth with his lips. Finally, it was quiet. After a long while, Di Baiming finally let go of Yun Chujio. Pervert! You only know how to take advantage of me. Yun Chujio muttered with a red face. Di Baiming's heart was agitated again. He wanted to tear her apart and eat her right away, but he could only think about it. The two of them lingered for a while more before Di Baiming said, Little Jio, why don't I help you kill the people from the Luo and Zhao families? That way, you'll be able to relax a little. Yun Chujio shook her head. Prince Charming, I'll do it myself. It's not that I'm being pretentious. I'll only be happy if I can take revenge myself. Furthermore, I have to make use of these two families to stir up some trouble. Di Baiming saw that Yun Chujio's attitude was firm. Moreover, he knew that she had many ideas. Hence, he had no choice but to give up on the idea of starting a massacre. Do you have any pills with you? Yun Chujio thought of a crucial question. It turns out that everything you gave me is basically gone. However, I bought some more. Although the effects are not as good as the ones you gave me, they are still passable. Di Baiming originally thought that the alchemy skills of the immortal Yuan continent would be much better than that of the Tian Yuan continent. He did not expect that the actual situation was almost the same. Therefore, even if he spent a high price, the medicinal pills he bought were not as good as the heaven-grade blood coagulation pills and sudden spirit pills that Yun Chujio refined. When Yun Chujio heard Di Baiming's words, she took out more than 10 pots of medicinal pills from her storage ring and passed them to Di Baiming. The corner of Di Baiming's eyes twitched violently. Little Gio, when did you store so many medicinal pills? Prince Charming, you also know that I'm often trapped in strange places, so it's better to be prepared. Besides, Go Weiba is a foodie. If he doesn't eat medicinal pills for a period of time, he will cause trouble. Yun Chujio said with disdain. Di Baiming frowned and said, Go Weiba is always a disaster. I will definitely help you find a way to solve it. The grass in Yun Chujio's dantian trembled. It was so scary, so scary. Fortunately, only a small part of that person's seal was broken. If it was broken, the grass life would be in danger. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes and said, Prince Charming, wait for me here. I will go back to the bedroom to get something for you. Di Baiming was very puzzled. According to Little Gio's character, she would naturally bring good things with her at all times. Why would she still keep them in the bedroom? After a while, Yun Chujio walked out of the bedroom. She handed a wooden box to Di Baiming. Prince Charming, if you are seriously injured and the pills are not effective, you can open this wooden box. There are the pills that I have newly developed inside. Di Baiming took it and was about to open it. Yun Chujio stopped him. What's so good about pills? Just keep it. Also, keep these sacks of super-grade burst talismans. Don't be so stubborn. Use whatever tricks you can. The most important thing is to keep your life. Take me for example. Although my spiritual power is weak, I can use my Black Lotus skill to take revenge very quickly. So, you have to be flexible. Hearing Yun Chujio's words, Di Baiming was stunned. He did not open the wooden box and directly put it into his storage ring. Little Gio, I know you have a lot of tricks up your sleeve, but don't try to be brave. If you run into trouble that you can't solve, you can send a message to Infong. I will ask him to protect you in the dark. Di Baiming knew that with Yun Chujio's intelligence, she must have guessed that Infong was nearby, so he decided not to hide it. Okay, I got it. Sigh, if only Brother Wu Ji, that idiot, had ascended earlier, we would have more helpers. Yun Chujio pouted and said, That idiot, it will probably take some time for him to ascend. However, in the Western continent with Infong protecting you, it should be enough, Di Baiming said. Shui Wuji, who was cultivating in the Tian Yuan continent, sneezed twice. Damn it. Who is talking bad about me behind my back? It must be that facial paralysis. I don't know if he found little sister Gio, that damn facial paralysis actually made me lose face. When I ascend, I will definitely regain my face. Yun Chujio and Di Baiming chatted for a while. Although Di Baiming was reluctant to part with her. However, he could only leave. Little Gio, I can't come here often. Otherwise, I might implicate you. You have to be more careful. Don't fall behind in your cultivation. No matter how powerful your schemes are, they are useless in the face of an absolute difference in strength. You can't always take advantage of the situation. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. At first, Yun Chujio was listening to him attentively, but when she saw Di Baiming's endless speech, she was a little distracted. The scene of him peeking just now flashed in her mind. Although the gigolo's body was full of wounds, it was still very pleasing to the eye. It was really a big loss for him to sneak a few times just now. Baiming rambled on for a long time, and then he saw a wretched smile on Yun Chujia's lips. He glared at her angrily. "Little Gio, what are you thinking about?" "I was thinking that you should have taken off your pants just now so that I could see the whole set." The gigolo realized that he had let the cat out of the bag. He laughed dryly. He, Prince Charming, don't be angry. Everyone has a heart for beauty." Baiming took a deep breath and said, "Take care of yourself." After he left the room, he disappeared in a few flashes. Yun Chujio pouted. What a blockhead. Normally, shouldn't she take off her clothes and let me touch her? Xiao Hanio said weakly, "Master, if what you said is not normal, okay?" "Shut up. You still have the face to talk about me? You talk about the three of you, no, the four of you are each weaker than a chicken. Their spiritual pets are awesome and lightning fast. Look at you guys, all of you are bragging about immortal beasts and exotic beasts, but in reality, how are you all powerful? Aren't you guys always using the light of my leveling up to level up?" Xiao Hanio was immediately rolled his eyes at the other three. "Don't you think you owe us? This is great. We are all being ridiculed by our master because of you." Xiao Hanio glared at him and defended himself. "Master, you can't blame us. After all, we are all spiritual beings from an extraordinary background. Can we be like those coquettish beasts? Our lifespans are very, very long, so we are only like human babies now. Tell me, can you ask too much of a baby? You dummies, do you still have a point? From today onwards, your food will be halved." Yun Chujio was in a bad mood, so Xiao Hanio bumped into the muzzle of the gun. Xiao Hanio glared at her and did not dare to say anything. It felt that if it continued to talk nonsense, not only would its food be halved, it would also be beaten up. "Sigh, I'm also very worried, okay? I also want to become an awesome lightning, okay? But isn't this taking things slowly? Could it be that I can become a fat bird in one bite?" After Yun Chujio scolded Xiao Hanio, she went to Qing Ji and Qing Liu's house. As expected, the two maids were unconscious. They were probably knocked out by Baiming. Yun Chujio could not help but complain. This gigolo was either knocking on the door or knocking on people. However, she could only knock them out. Otherwise, the gigolo would be exposed. Yun Chujio woke up Qing Ji and Qing Liu. Both of them looked baffled. What was going on? Forget what happened just now. Nothing happened. Do you understand? Yun Chujio said with a dark face. Qing Liu and Qing Ji naturally did not dare to object. They obediently nodded and agreed. Yun Chujio went to Mo Fankin's house again and woke Mo Fangqin up. She said the same thing. Mo Fangqin was very sensible. She didn't ask anything. Instead, she said, "Big sister, what did grandfather say? Why didn't the Zhao family come to marry you?" Yun Chujio curled her lips. "I heard that the Zhao family went back to Jianfeng City overnight. Don't you think it's a coincidence?" Mo Fankin's face stiffened as she thought to herself, what a coincidence. It must be the doing of a country bumpkin. How did she do it? What a pervert. Third sister, the weather will probably change in the next few days. TSKSK, I'm still a little excited. Yun Chujio said with a grin. Mo Fangqin felt that someone was going to be unlucky. This fellow was so excited. He must have thought of some bad idea. In the end, the Zhao family did not destroy the Luo family. However, they actually made a request that Yun Chujio thought was extremely ridiculous. The Zhao family let the Luo family kill Luo Yan and then let Luo Yan marry Zhao Lizzie as their underworld wife. In other words, they buried Luo Yan and Zhao Lizzie together. This way, Zhao Lizzie could be considered to have a family in the netherworld. Luo Pingxing did not hesitate at all. He killed Luo Yan in front of second elder Zhao and handed Luo Yan's body to him. "Luo family head, you're lucky. My elder brother's concubine actually gave birth to a fat kid. You should take care of yourself in the future." Second elder Zhao said with his lips curled. "Second elder Zhao, please put in a few good words for me when you go back. It'll help you keep an eye on the Mo family. I'll report any news to you immediately." What do you plan to do with Mo Fangchao? Luo Pingxing thought to himself, the Luo family had lost almost half of their assets. It would be best if the Zhao family could get rid of Mo Fangchao as soon as possible so that he could think of a way to annex the Mo family. Although they have already made up their minds, there are still many unmarried men in the family. Once the mourning period is over, I will come again to propose marriage. I don't think Mo Shouting would dare to refuse. Hearing second elder Zhao's words, Luo Pingxing could not help but heave a sigh of relief. He complimented second elder Zhao a few more times before sending him off. Luo Shi stayed at the Luo family for a few days before returning to the Mo family. Mo Qing naturally wanted to ask about Luo Yan. The Luo family had caused such a huge commotion, so it was impossible for them to keep it a secret. Hence, Luo Shi decided to tell Mo Qing what had happened. Mo Qing could not help but feel a chill run down his spine. He felt that Luo Pingxing was even more ruthless than his father. Luo Yan was usually the most favored, yet he had killed her so easily. When Luo Shi saw Mo Qing's pale face, she comforted him gently, "Darling, my father has no choice. If we do not give the Zhao family an explanation, the Zhao family will definitely exterminate the Luo family." Mo Qing nodded and said against his will, "I understand. Father-in-law was forced to do so." When Luo Shi saw how timid Mo Qing was and recalled the incident with the two concubines, she began to despise Mo Qing. She originally felt that Mo Qing was quite good-looking and had a good family background, so she thought of a way to climb into his bed. She never expected that he was becoming more and more useless. He was truly useless. If she had known this would happen, she would have left with that enemy. That enemy was extremely bold. Perhaps he had already made a name for himself. Mo Qing noticed Luo Shi's indifferent expression and asked in puzzlement, "Qiaoyun, what are you thinking about?" Luo Shi said in a slightly flustered manner, "I'm thinking about the 7-star lucky card. Now that Fang Chao isn't married, it looks like the money tree still has to be under her control." Mo Qing did not doubt him as he sighed and said, "Now, father is placing more and more trust in that rebellious daughter. Unless she marries someone in the future, the 7-star lucky card will not be ours. I heard from my father that although Zhao Lizzie is dead, there are still other unmarried men in the Zhao family. In a few days, the Zhao family will come to propose marriage. We will think of another way," said Luo Shi in a lowered voice. Mo Qing's eyes lit up. "Really? That's great. When the time comes, I will definitely snatch the 7-star lucky card. We will accumulate more assets. Even if the Mo family is really finished, we will not have to worry about food and drink." For a period of time, the Mo residence returned to its usual calm. In reality, Mo Shouting had secretly recruited quite a number of bodyguards, but they were temporarily stationed in another town. Mo Shouting found an excuse and did not allow Mo Qing and Luo Shi to return to Jinchuan City. Mo Qing was staring at the 7-star lucky card, so he naturally couldn't wait for it. That day, Mo Qing followed Mo Peng and Mo Chang out for a drink and did not return to the Mo residence that night. Although Luo Shi was unhappy, she was already numb to such matters. So, she turned off the lights early and prepared to go to bed. At this moment, the bedroom door opened. Luo Shi thought Mo Qing had returned and said angrily, "You still know to come back? I thought you were bewitched by the little vixen." The person did not say a word as he walked straight to the window and called out, "Qiaoyun, it's me." Luo Shi's heart jolted as she looked up at the person. "Hua Lang, it's you? You're back?" The person hugged Luo Shi and without a word, he began to touch her. After a round of intimacy, Luo Shi could not help but grumble, "Hua Lang, you are too gutsy. Why did you directly enter the Mo residence? What if you were discovered? Besides, Mo Qing isn't in the residence today. It would be terrible if he were to bump into you." "Qiaoyun, things are different now. I do not think much of the tiny Mo residence. Besides, I only came here because I saw Mo Qing go to the cauldron and hall. Qiaoyun, it's been so many years since we last met. You are still as moving as ever. I really missed you to death." That's a nice way of putting it. Since you missed me, why haven't you heard from me for so many years? Fanghua and Junshin are already so old. Why didn't you say that you would come back to take a look? Said Luo Shi angrily. Xiaoyun, look at what you're saying. That's my flesh and blood, how could I not miss it? It's just that back then, your father thought that I was a poor kid with no ability, so of course, I had to live like a human before I could come back. Luo Shi was delighted when she heard this. Hua Lang, from what you've said, are you very powerful now? Xiaoyun, by chance, I found a cave abode that contained elixirs left behind by ancient cultivators. After I ate them, I had my essence cleansed and my spiritual power continuously increased. I'm already at the 6th level of the Ling Xian realm. That old bastard Mo shouting is only at the 5th level of the Ling Xian realm. Tell me, who do you think I'm afraid of? The man could not help but feel proud of himself. He had returned home in glory. Hua Lang, is what you said true? That's great. It just so happens that the Luo family wants to destroy the Mo family. When the time comes, you can lend us a helping hand. My father will definitely look at you in a new light. When that time comes, the 4 of us will be reunited, Luo Shi said excitedly. Then what about Mo Cheng? Are you willing to part with him? Back then, you abandoned me because of him, said the person unhappily. Hua Lang, I was also forced by my father back then. Furthermore, I was already pregnant at that time. If I did not marry Mo Cheng, how would I be able to face the world? Besides, didn't we still find a chance to be together later on? If not, where would Junshin come from? If you find me to be a ruined woman, I won't say anything. You can leave. Luo Shi said with a feigned grievance. Xiaoyun, look at you. I'm just saying this. I'm afraid you won't be able to bear to part with Mo Cheng. After all, you have lived together for so many years. In my heart, you are the only one. If not, I wouldn't have been unable to form a family for so many years. When Luo Shi heard that person say that, her tears turned into a smile. As the two conversed, they huddled together again. On the other side, Yun Chujio, who was listening to Xiao Hei's live broadcast, was first taken aback before she rolled on the bed laughing. What retribution! Mo Cheng had actually been cuckolded, and it was the kind that was green. TSK, Mo Fanghua and Mo Junshin are actually not Mo Cheng's children. This is really exciting good news. If Mo Cheng knew about this, would he be so angry that he would die? I'm really looking forward to it. After Yun Chujio was happy for a while, she was a little worried. The old lover of the Luo clan was at the 6th level of the Ling Xian realm, which was even higher than the old fox's spiritual energy level. If they were to fight, it would be a disaster. Yun Chujio thought about it and decided to first investigate the identity of the old lover of the Luo clan. After confirming his whereabouts, she would think of a way to deal with him. The next day, Yun Chujio called He Shi over. He Shi, I'll give you a secret mission. Go and investigate if the Luo clan had a lover named Hua before marrying my father. Also, after you find a place to stay, send someone to keep an eye on him. Be careful. That person's spiritual energy is extremely high. He Shi was dumbfounded. Could this little ancestor know how to calculate? How did she know that the Luo clan had a lover in the past and that the person's spiritual energy was extremely high? However, He Shi did not dare to ask any further. After he left, he sent a few of his subordinates to secretly investigate the matter. 3 days later, He Shi came over with a face full of admiration and reported, "Miss, we found a person called Zhang Hua. His family used to be neighbors with the Mo family. Zhang Hua and Madame Luo could be said to have grown up together as childhood sweethearts. However, Zhang Hua's parents both passed away due to illness, and their family background fell apart. It was said that Luo Pingxing was very opposed to the two of them being together. Later, Madame Luo married into the Mo family for some unknown reason. Zhang Hua rented a courtyard in the south of the city and hired 2 servants. He rarely goes out, so I've already sent someone to keep an eye on him." Yun Chujio nodded. "You've done well. This matter is strictly kept a secret. Even my grandfather cannot know about it. Do you understand?" "Yes, I understand." He Shi was certain that Mo shouting was no match for the little ancestor. In order to save his life, it was better to listen to the little ancestor. Get someone to draw Zhang Hua's face and the topographic map of his courtyard for me. I have a use for it. Yes. The next day, He Shi handed over Zhang Hua's portrait and the topographic map of his rented courtyard to Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio looked at Zhang Hua's portrait and could not help but laugh. Mo Junshin looked at least 80% like this Zhang Hua. Mo Cheng was definitely a cuckold. After He Shi went down, Yun Chujio rubbed her chin and pondered for a while. Then, she took out a voice transmission talisman. Little lunatic, come to my courtyard at midnight today. I have something to ask you. And Feng had been very bored for the past few days. When he heard Yun Chujio's call, he came that night. Mo Fangqin and the two handmaidens had been drugged by Yun Chujio. This guy felt that being drugged was better than being knocked out. Yes, that was it. Miss Jiao, it has been a long time since we last met. You have become even more magnificent and beautiful. And Feng immediately flattered her the moment he saw her because he was afraid that Yun Chujio would seek revenge on him. After all, he did not dare to reply when Yun Chujio sent him a voice transmission talisman. Do you think that just by saying a few good words, I will let you off the hook? Little lunatic, at such a critical moment, you are actually on the same side as the gigolo. Are you worthy of the pills and delicious food that I gave you? You're still coveting my beauty, Jinji? Dream on. Yun Chujio snorted coldly. Obviously, she did not buy it. Miss Jiao, you've really wronged me. It's not like you don't know how scary the Honorable Sir has become. How would I dare to disobey him? If I don't obey him, he'll really kill me. Are you stupid? You don't dare to do it on the surface, but don't you know how to play tricks behind my back? Besides, what's there to be afraid of with a gigolo? Isn't it just a paper tiger? What are you afraid of? Yun Chujio said with a twitch of her lips. And Feng was about to cry. Paper tiger? In front of you is a paper tiger, but in front of me is a real tiger. Ah no, the overlord is stronger than the tiger. And Feng said a few more nice things, and Yun Chujio snorted, forget it. I've always been able to support a ship with my stomach. I won't lower myself to your level. And Feng's mouth twitched. Won't lower myself to your level? I'm about to spit out white foam. Little lunatic, I have something I need you to do. If you can do it well, I'll completely forgive you, Yun Chujio said with a smile. Miss Jiao, what do you want me to do? And Feng asked nervously. Could this little ancestor be up to something again? Don't worry, it's not a difficult thing. Control this person and don't kill him. Just keep him alive. I will be useful in a few days. Yun Chujio handed Zhang Hua's portrait and the topographic map to Feng. And Feng took it and looked at it. Miss Jiao, what's his cultivation level? At the 6th level of the Lingxin realm, you should have no problem dealing with him, but to be on the safe side, I'll send you a few helpers. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes. It was not bad to let He Shi and the others meet Feng. It could intimidate them and prevent them from wavering. Zhang Hua was still dreaming of wiping out the Mo family and reaching the peak of his life. Who would have thought that he would already be targeted by Xiao Sha? And Feng's cultivation was already higher than Zhang Hua's. With the help of He Shi and the others, it didn't take much effort to capture Zhang Hua. After Yun Chujio received the news, she hopped over to look for Mo, shouting, Grandfather, the time is ripe. There's no time to lose. Let's do it tonight. Yun Chujio's eyes were filled with excitement. She was really looking forward to seeing her scumbag father suffer a huge blow. Mo shouting knew that there was no turning back now, so he did not have any objections. He discussed the details of the operation with Yun Chujio and then sent people to gather the recruited guards and infiltrate Fengli City. The next night, the Luo family suddenly erupted into flames and shouted for everyone to die. Luo Pingsheng's face turned pale with fright. He quickly left the bedroom and found Mo shouting waiting for him with a cold smile on his face. Beside Mo shouting stood the smiling Mo Fangchao, and behind them were more than 20 guards. Mo shouting, what do you mean? Although Luo Pingsheng's heart was shaken, his expression remained calm. Mo shouting was just about to say something righteous when Yun Chujio said, Grandfather, don't waste your breath on him. Just kill him. Little ones, charge. As long as you kill this old thing, the master will reward you handsomely. The guards had originally come for the Mo residence's high salary. Now that they heard that they would be rewarded handsomely, they naturally charged forward and launched a fierce spiritual attack at Luo Pingxing. Luo Pingxing's spiritual energy wasn't even as high as Mo Xiaoding's. How could he be a match for these people? He begged for mercy. Master, brother, we are in-laws. Please spare me. I am willing to give all of the Luo family's assets to you. All I ask is that you spare my old life. Mo Xiaoding sneered. Luo Pingxing, it's too late for you to say all this. The moment you plotted against the Mo family, our two families became enemies. Seeing that his pleas were useless, Luo Pingxing immediately changed his expression. Mo shouting, if you kill me, the Zhao family will not let you off. You're courting death. Mo Xiaoding scoffed, you don't have to worry about the Mo family. Go ahead and kill him. Luo Pingxing was quickly subdued by the crowd. Just as Mo Xiaoding was about to kill him with a slap, Mo Qing arrived with Luo Shi, Mo Fanghua and Mo Junchen. Mo Xiaoding was stunned. He had specially sent people to guard Mo Cheng's courtyard because he was afraid that Mo Qing would come over and cause trouble. Why did he still come over? How would he know that this was all Yun Chujius doing? If Mo Cheng and Luo Shi did not come, how would the show begin? He was really looking forward to the drama that was about to unfold. Mo Qing did not say a word. Seeing that the Luo family's power was at an end, he naturally would not be so stupid as to offend Mo Xiaoding. Bringing Luo Shi and her children here was to prevent them from hating him for not saving them in the future. Luo Shi saw that Luo Pingxing was being controlled and looked at the flames of the Luo family. She knew that the Luo family was finished. When Luo Pingxing saw that Luo Shi had rushed over, his eyes lit up. No matter what, he had to save his life first. Xiaoyun, Fanghua, Junchen, kneel down. I beg family head Mo to spare me. Of course, Luo Shi would not stand by and do nothing. She brought Mo Fanghua and Mo Junchen and knelt on the ground. Father-in-law, the Luo family is no longer a threat to us. Please, for the sake of Fanghua and Junchen, spare my father. Mo Fanghua and Mo Junchen also pleaded. Mo Qing could not bear it and said, Father, the Luo family is finished anyway. For the sake of the children, please spare my father-in-law. Mo Xiaoding was so angry that his head was buzzing. How could he raise such an idiot? Did he not understand the logic of letting the tiger return to the mountain? Get up. The Luo family has wild ambitions. We can't not get rid of them. Luo Shi, I know what you have done. But on account of the fact that you have given birth to a pair of children for the second son, I will spare you for now. If you two continue to be stubborn, don't blame me for being ruthless, Mo Xiaoding said with a dark expression. Luo Shi grumbled in her heart. Why hadn't the enemy arrived yet? Couldn't he see the Luo family's raging fire? As long as he came over and held Mo Xiaoding hostage, the Luo family would be able to turn the tables. But what should they do now? If they were to delay any longer, my father would be dead. Luo Shi gave Mo Fanghua and Mo Junchen a look. Mo Fanghua took out a dagger from her storage ring and placed it across her neck. Luo Shi followed suit. Father-in-law, if you do not agree to spare my father's life, the three of us will commit suicide in front of you today. Yun Chujio burst into laughter. Second aunt, it should be the two of us. My brother doesn't seem to want to die. Luo Shi turned her head and saw Mo Junchen kneeling. He did not take out his dagger as he stammered, Mother, I don't want to die. Luo Shi was so angry that she nearly fainted. This was only a temporary measure. Why did she need to die? What an idiot. Although Mo Qing had been displeased with Luo Shi recently, they had been husband and wife for so many years. They still had feelings for each other, not to mention Mo Fanghua. Mo Xiaoding's hands immediately went numb. Father, please spare my father-in-law. You can't just watch Xiaoyun and Fanghua commit suicide, can you? Mo Xiaoding's head was buzzing. If it wasn't for Fanghua and Junchen, he would have killed Luo Shi as well. Otherwise, his second brother, who had soft ears, would sooner or later cause trouble. Mo Qing saw that Mo Xiaoding wasn't speaking, so he gritted his teeth and pulled out a dagger and held it to his neck. Father, if you don't agree, I won't live anymore. Emo's shouting was so angry that he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. This wasn't a son, this was clearly an enemy. Yun Chujio felt it was her turn, so she smiled and said, Father, don't kill yourself yet. Before you die, you have to meet someone. This person is an old acquaintance of second aunt's. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Emo Ching glared at her. Scram to the side. It's all because of you, the troublemaker. If not, why would there be so many things happening? Yun Chujio curled her lips. Father, you will not say that in a while. You will still thank me. Hey sure, bring second aunt's old acquaintance here. Luo Shi's heart sank. She had an extremely ominous premonition. No, that's impossible. It definitely could not be Hua Lang. With his high spiritual energy, he definitely would not be captured by that slut, Mo Fangchao. Definitely not. However, when she saw the person He Shi had imprisoned, her head buzzed. How was that possible? How did Hua Lang end up in the hands of that slut, Mo Fangchao? As the Luo family did not live in Fengli City before they made their fortune, Mo Qing did not know Zhang Hua. He snorted coldly and said, How unreasonable. Qiao Yun, do you know him? Luo Shi tried her best to remain calm, but her voice was still trembling as she said, He was my former neighbor. Tsk, second aunt, is it as simple as just being a neighbor? I heard that the two of you are childhood sweethearts. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Oh, Luo Shi saw the suspicious expression on Mo Cheng's face. She hurriedly said, Darling, although we played together when we were young, we broke up when we grew up. Fangchao, even if you hate me, you should not have captured an innocent person. You have really gone too far. When Mo Cheng heard Luo Shi's words, coupled with the fact that he subconsciously did not wish to think of the worst, he roared, Unfilial daughter, scram. Father, don't be in such a hurry to make me scram. Take a good look at this person's appearance. Don't you have any other thoughts? Yun Chujio said with a chuckle. Mo Cheng looked at Zhang Hua reluctantly. In order for him to see clearly, He Shi had specially raised Zhang Hua's head. Mo Cheng felt that Zhang Hua's face looked familiar. Could it be that he had seen him before? Father, don't you think that Zhang Hua looks very similar to my brother Junchin? Tsk, they look exactly the same. Don't you think it's a coincidence? Yun Chujio said. Upon hearing this, Mo Cheng subconsciously turned to look at Mo Junchin before turning to look at Zhang Hua. After looking at him a few times, his head buzzed and he nearly fainted. He had originally thought that Mo Junchin looked more like Luo Shi, but he never expected that he would actually follow this adulterer. He then looked at Mo Fanghua. Although she had 70% of Luo Shi's looks, her slightly raised phoenix eyes were exactly the same as Zhang Hua's. Slut. I'm going to kill you. Mo Ching kicked Luo Shi to the ground and gave her a few tight slaps. Darling, I'm being wrongly accused. That slut is spouting nonsense. Luo Shi no longer had the time to act as though she was committing suicide as she explained while crying. Mo Ching was not willing to listen to her explanation. Now that the evidence was conclusive, there was no need to interrogate her. Zhang Hua's face was the best proof. Luo Qiao, you slut. No wonder you took the initiative to climb into my bed. It turns out that you wanted me to be your father. I'm going to kill you. Yun Chujio nearly burst out laughing. Be your father? What an image. Everyone present was stunned by this turn of events. Luo Pingxing knew a thing or two about this matter, but he never expected Yun Chujio to actually capture Zhang Hua. He immediately knew that he was doomed. Mo Fanghua and Mo Junchin were even more incredulous. They were actually the children of Luo Shi and this adulterer? How is this possible? Mo Fanghua, you are spouting nonsense. You slut. You will die a horrible death. Mo Fanghua cursed hysterically as she pounced at Yun Chujio. The dagger in her hand stabbed straight at Yun Chujio's chest. There were many guards standing behind Yun Chujio, so she naturally would not allow Mo Fangchao to succeed. She easily controlled Mo Fangchao. Mo Junchin was a coward, so he did not dare to resist. He was also controlled by someone. Luo Shi had already been beaten half to death by Mo Cheng. Yun Chujio curled her lips and said, "Father, please stop beating her. Don't you want to interrogate an old acquaintance like second aunt?" Mo Cheng's eyes were bloodshot. He raised his dagger and asked Zhang Hua, "Tell me, how long have you been with this slut? What's with those two bastards? If you tell me the truth, I'll gouge out your eyes and cut out your tongue." Yun Chujio sneered inwardly. Those that were usually held in her hands would turn into bastards the moment they learned that they were not hers. This change in attitude was really fast. Zhang Hua was also a spineless person. If he had any backbone, he would not have allowed his child to call others father. He immediately confessed. Mo Cheng was about to go crazy from anger. He felt as though his head had turned into a vast grassland. Fuck, it was so green that he could not see the end of it. He had simply become the biggest joke in Fengli City. Mo Cheng was like a mad demon as he killed Zhang Hua immediately. Luo Shi knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. "Darling, for the sake of our many years of friendship, please spare me. I know I was wrong. From now on, I will eat vegetarian and pray to Buddha to escape into the void." Before Luo Shi could finish her sentence, she was killed by Mo Cheng. Mo Cheng seemed to have gone mad. After killing Luo Shi, he turned around and killed Mo Fanghua and Mo Junshin as well. Yun Chujio watched coldly from the side. Leaving Luo Shi aside, Mo Fanghua and Mo Junshin had been calling Mo Cheng's father for more than a decade, yet they did not hesitate to kill him. How cold-blooded. Mo Shouting had no intention of stopping them. He already felt that Luo Shi was a scourge, so it was good to kill them. As for Mo Fanghua and Mo Junshin, since they were not the blood of the Mo family, it was not a pity to kill them. After killing the second master, Mo Cheng slumped to the ground, looking like he had suffered a huge blow. "The few of you, escort the second master back to the mansion." Mo Shouting ordered a few guards to get rid of Mo Cheng when he saw Mo Cheng's distracted expression. Mo Cheng stood up and glared at Yun Chujio before leaving. Yun Chujio twitched her lips. "You like to be cuckolded, are you blaming me?" After Mo Shouting killed Luo Pingxing with one palm strike, the Luo family was left without a leader. They quickly died and the captives were captured. The Mo family was victorious. Mo Xiaoding's depression from the past few days was swept away. After daybreak, the first thing he did was to count the Luo family's assets. However, a strange thing happened. Luo Pingsheng's storage ring was missing. Mo Shouting was furious. At that time, he was so focused on cleaning up the mess that he did not even think about removing Luo Pingsheng's storage ring. He had been too careless. Oh, even if he wanted to look for it, there was no way he could find it. There were so many people who might have stolen it. It was even possible that a guard from the Luo family had taken it. He could only blame his bad luck. Fortunately, the Luo family's shops and properties were worth quite a bit of money. So, the person who stole the ring did not dare to take out the deed openly. When the time came, he would just have to make up for it. At most, he would only lose a few spirit stones and spiritual tools. Mo Shouting sighed. Meanwhile, one of the goods was secretly counting the spirit stones in the house with a big smile on his face. "Titite, I never ask others for help when I can do it myself. I have to say, this Luo Pingxing is really rich." Yun Chujio's little treasury was once again filled with money. It was simply too beautiful. After the Luo family's matter came to an end, Mo Peng and Mo Chang ran to Mo Xiaoding's study room with extra diligence. They were both drooling over the Luo family's shop and wanted to fight for a few more. Mo Shouting was extremely disappointed in them, so no matter how hard they tried to persuade him, he did not relent. As for Mo Cheng, perhaps he had suffered a huge blow, so he did not return to Jinchuan City. Instead, he spent most of his time drunk in the old Mo residence. Yun Chujio secretly said to Mo Fangqin, "Third sister, now is the best opportunity for Auntie Chiu to rise to the top. If she can give birth to another fat boy, the day of your marriage will be just around the corner. Whether the two of you can turn the tables will depend on this one time. If you miss this opportunity, Mo Cheng will find a new wife. The two of you will be in deep trouble again." Mo Fangqin immediately ran over to Auntie Chio's place and began to put on a bitter love scene. After persuading Mo Fangqin, Yun Chujio hopped over to look for Mo, shouting, "Grandfather, how's the recruitment of talisman masters going?" "It's going well. After all, the price we offered is second to none in the Western continent." Mo shouting found Yun Chujio pleasing to the eye and was very amiable. "Has the Zhao family made any moves?" "Logically speaking, since we've destroyed the Luo family, they should have made some moves. Why haven't they made any moves?" Yun Chujio asked in confusion. "According to the spies, the Zhao family is doing as usual. They are probably waiting for Zhao Lizzie's 100 days to pass before they do anything." Mo shouting guessed. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. She could roughly guess what the Zhao family was thinking. The Zhao family was already unhappy with the Luo family because of Zhao Lizzie. Since the Luo family had already been destroyed, there was no point in them coming to interrogate them. So, it was better to wait for Zhao Lizzie's 100th day to pass and marry her. As for the Mo family, it didn't matter to them. They could continue to cooperate with the talisman business. "Grandfather, there are still nearly 3 months before Zhao Lizzie's 100th day. I want to go to the Fallen Phoenix Forest to train. After all, I'm 2 weeks right now," Yun Chujio said with a smile. Mo shouting frowned. "Fang Chao, you have a heavenly lightning spiritual root. The higher your spiritual power, the stronger the power of the Tian Dao to kill you. You should stop training." "Grandfather, training is against nature. It won't be easy for the Tian Dao to kill me. Besides, even if I don't train, I can't guarantee that the Tian Dao won't kill me. Why don't I increase my spiritual power so that I can withstand a few more bolts of lightning?" Mo shouting noticed Yun Chujio's firm attitude and knew that even if he didn't agree, Yun Chujio would think of a way to get him to agree. So, why did he have to make her unhappy? Besides, if her spiritual power was higher, it would be good for the Mo family if she ever returned to the East Continent. "Alright, since you insist, you must be extremely careful. Although there are many demonic beasts on the outskirts of the Fallen Phoenix Forest, it's not too dangerous. However, you must not go near the center of the Fallen Phoenix Forest." "But is it because the level of the demonic beasts inside is high?" "That's right. It is said that the center of the Fallen Phoenix Forest is the Nirvana land of the ancient divine phoenix. It has a fatal attraction to fire-type demonic beasts. Many high-level demonic beasts gather inside, so it is extremely dangerous." "Ah, is that so? Grandfather, don't worry. I am very afraid of death and will not enter," Yun Chujio said confidently. "Okay, I'll send a team of guards to protect you." Yun Chujio was now Mo Xiaoding's money tree and military advisor. Mo shouting naturally cared about her safety. "Grandfather, I'm going for a trial. If I bring so many people there, it won't be as effective as a trial. I'll just bring Heisher and the other 6. Besides, I'll just walk around the edges and won't encounter any powerful demonic beasts." Yun Chujio thought, what a joke. Why would I bring a bunch of spies to go for a trial? Mo shouting tried to persuade her, but seeing that Yun Chujio insisted, he had no choice but to let her be. After Yun Chujio returned, she gave Mo Fangqin a few instructions before heading towards Fallen Phoenix Forest the next day. Fallen Phoenix Forest was about 300 li away from Feng Li City, so everyone boarded a flying spirit tool and headed towards Bai Li. On the flying spirit tool, Heisher and the others were staring at Yun Chujio until their hair stood on end. "Small miss, what do you have to order?" Heisher braced himself to ask. "Let me see if you have done me wrong. You may not know this, but I have a special gift for calculating. Otherwise, how do you think I knew Luo Shi had an old lover? I just figured it out." Yun Chujio was possessed by a fraud. "I don't know." Heisher and the others naturally did not believe it. However, firstly, Yun Chujio was generous. Secondly, they were afraid of this fellow's black heart, so how would they dare to have any second thoughts? Furthermore, there was still that mysterious person. That person's spiritual energy was much higher than theirs. Only those who wanted to die would dare to betray this little ancestor. Yun Chujio saw that these people's eyes were open and did not feel guilty. Then she said with a smile, "Don't worry. As long as you follow me obediently, I guarantee that you will all be very awesome in the future. The Western continent is nothing. I want you all to be well-known figures in the Eastern continent in the future." Heisher and the others expressed their gratitude to show their loyalty, but they felt that Yun Chujia's bragging was too big. Forget about being well-known in the Eastern continent. Even if they could go to the Eastern continent, it would be Amitabha. 2 hours later, the flying spirit tool landed on the periphery of the fallen phoenix forest. Yun Chujio jumped down from the flying spirit tool. She rolled up her sleeves and said, "When you encounter demonic beasts later, don't make a move. Let me do it. Do you hear me? I'm suffocating." The corners of Heisher and the others' mouths twitched. It wasn't a good thing. Who would snatch it from you? However, this little ancestor really did not know his limits. "You are only at the second level of the spiritual venerable realm. What are you trying to do? It would be difficult for you to deal with a 26th level demon beast. Let's see if you let us help you then." And Feng naturally followed them, but he flew his own flying spirit tool and followed behind them at a distance. Yun Chujio quickly encountered a 26th level single-horned wind blade violent bull. This fellow smiled and waved at the single-horned wind blade violent bull. "Little baby, you came at the right time. You can have roast beef for lunch." The single-horned windblade ox ran away. It was not afraid of Yun Chujio, but the 6 people behind her. "Oh, you want to run? Stop right there." Yun Chujio jumped up and struck the single-horned windblade ox with lightning. The lightning struck the single-horned windblade ox's tail. The single-horned windblade ox howled in pain. It turned around and threw a few wind blades at Yun Chujio. Heisher and the others grinned. They didn't know if this little ancestor could dodge it or not. They didn't want to get injured right away. Obviously, their worries were unnecessary. Yun Chujio leaped up. Not only did she dodge the wind blades, but she also threw a few lightning bolts at the single-horned windblade ox's horn. The man and the ox tangled together. Yun Chujio wanted to train her movement technique, so she didn't use her spiritual power materialization technique, nor did she use talisman. If this fellow used talisman, this single-horned windblade ox would have long become beef jerky. Heisher and the others were amazed. Although this little ancestor's spiritual power level was not high, her movement technique was really fast. No one knew how she practiced it. They watched the show with relish, but the single-horned wind blade raging bull's heart collapsed. Damn it! This human girl's spiritual power was clearly not high, so why couldn't she be killed? She was so angry. 15 minutes later, the single-horned windblade ox was hacked by Yun Chujio until its body was covered in black smoke, and it was dead with resentment. Yun Chujio put her hands on her waist and said to Heisher, keep it for barbecue." Heisher complimented her a few times, and then put the single-horned windblade ox's corpse into his storage ring. Then, Yun Chujio killed a few more demonic beasts. Because they were now at the outermost area of the fallen phoenix forest, most of the demonic beasts they encountered were below level 27. Yun Chujio could easily deal with them even without using her spiritual power. Heisher and the others were very puzzled. This little ancestor was clearly only at level 2 of the Supreme Being realm, so how could she deal with level 27 demonic beasts so easily? This didn't make sense. Also, why didn't she use her spiritual power to materialize? Could it be that she didn't know how to? The first day of the trial passed without a single ripple. After breakfast the next day, Yun Chujio said, "Let's walk further in. The demonic beasts outside are too unchallenging." Although Heisher and the others felt that they would encounter demonic beasts above level 28 if they walked further in, it wouldn't be a problem for them to protect Yun Chujio. Therefore, they agreed without any objections. Yun Chujio still did not use her spiritual power to attack, but as the level of the demonic beasts increased, she became more and more exhausted. Soon, blood started to seep out from her clothes. Heisher and the others wanted to help, but Yun Chujio glared at them, indicating that she did not need their help. Heisher and the others could only watch from the side, preparing to help Yun Chujio when she was exhausted. However, they waited until the sky turned dark and did not see Yun Chujio running out of energy. The six of them could not help but look at each other. Damn, this little ancestor was too energetic. For the next 2 days, Yun Chujio fought with the demonic beasts. The clothes on her body were stained with blood. Some of them were hers and some of them were demonic beasts. However, she had never asked Heisher and the others for help. Heisher and the others gradually felt respect in their hearts. Even they might not be able to endure such an intense trial. This little ancestor was really tenacious. On the morning of the 5th day, Yun Chujio said to Heisher and the others, "Let's walk further inside." The demonic beasts on this level are no longer a challenge to me. Miss, there are demonic beasts above the 30th level. The 30th level is equivalent to the 9th level of the spiritual venerable realm for human cultivators. Can you do it? Heisher said carefully. The demonic beasts inside were becoming more and more ferocious. If they were in danger, they might not be able to save them in time. It's only interesting if there's a challenge. Besides, I haven't used my spiritual power materialization yet. I'll show you my spiritual power materialization technique in a while, Yun Chujio said with a smile. Hearing Yun Chujio's words, Heisher and the others could only follow her inside. They were very puzzled. They didn't know whether this little ancestor's spiritual power materialization technique was elementary, intermediate, or advanced. From her tone, it seemed like she was very powerful. What exactly was it? After walking for a while, they encountered a level 30 wind blade lion. Hey, little cat, you came at the right time. Look at my little 9 thunder needles. Yun Chujio shot out several purple needles at the wind blade lion. Heisher and the others were dumbfounded. Not to mention that the lion and the cat were indistinguishable, the spiritual energy that you materialized was actually a needle? Oh my God! Is it because we are lacking in experience, or is this little ancestor's spiritual energy materialization too strange? How did he materialize a needle? This isn't a joke. No wonder this little ancestor did not use spiritual energy materialization. The spiritual energy needle that materialized was even inferior to the purple lightning. This spiritual power needle was only as thick as an embroidery needle. Even if the Windblade Lion did not dodge, it would be fine. This was simply too weak. The Windblade Lion clearly had the same thought. It felt that the human in front of it was simply too weak. It wanted to deal with this broken thing that was materialized? Dream on. The Windblade Lion rolled its huge eyeballs. Not only did it not dodge, but it pounced on the purple needle instead. It had a plan in its mind. Even if the spiritual energy needle hit its body, it would only scratch the itch. It would be better to take this opportunity to bite Yun Chujio to death. Heisher and the others saw the Windblade Lion pouncing towards Yun Chujio and immediately exclaimed, "Miss, quickly dodge." They did not expect Yun Chujio to not move at all. She stood in place and looked at the Windblade Lion with a smile. Heisher and the others' heads buzzed. The Windblade Lion was too close to Yun Chujio. It was too late for them to act now. Little ancestor, aren't you courting death? Could it be that you came to the fallen phoenix forest to commit suicide? Just as Heisher and the others were about to collapse, they heard several explosions mixed with the screams of the Windblade Lion. Everyone focused their eyes and saw that the Windblade Lion's body was constantly exploding. The Windblade Lion was rolling on the ground in pain. Heisher and the others felt that their heads were not enough. What was going on? Did the little ancestor use a talisman? They did not see her use it. Moreover, if she used a talisman, it would also start to explode from the outside. It was obvious that the Windblade Lion started to explode from the inside. What was going on? At this moment, Yun Chujio threw a few more purple spiritual needles at the Windblade Lion. As the purple spiritual needles pierced into the Windblade Lion's body, the sounds of explosions rang out continuously. Heisher and the others were dumbfounded. So the spiritual needles could explode? Fuck, wasn't this too abnormal? There was such a materialization technique? This was simply a sharp weapon that pretended to be a pig to eat a tiger. Although this was a beginner-level materialization technique, its power was even more powerful than an intermediate-level materialization technique. While Heisher and the others were dumbfounded, Yun Chujio shot out several small purple needles at the eyes of the Windblade Mad Lion. Following the sound of the explosion, the Windblade Mad Lion died. After Yun Chujio put away the Windblade Mad Lion's corpse, she curled her lips and said, "This little cat actually doesn't know how to dodge. TSK, it's really too stupid." Heisher and the others thought to themselves, not to mention the Windblade Lion, even cultivators might not be able to dodge when they saw the spiritual needles you shot out. Who would have thought that this thing would explode? It was too much of a scam. In the next 2 days, Yun Chujio killed a few more demonic beasts. Most of the demonic beasts thought that Yun Chujio's spiritual needles were very weak and could not dodge at all, so they were easily hit. Yun Chujio felt that this was not challenging, so when she encountered a level 30 Windblade Mad Panther, it first shot a few spiritual energy needles at the big tree next to it. The Windblade Mad Panther could not help but wonder, is this human girl crazy? Why didn't she attack it and instead attacked the tree next to it? Could it be that her eyesight was not good and that she was squinting? Just as the wild Windblade leopard was thinking, it heard a few explosions coming from the side. Several large holes were blasted out from the big tree. If it wasn't for this iron core tree being hard, it would probably have been blown apart. "Kitten, did you see that? My little Gio's thunderbolt needle isn't as simple as it looks, so you have to be careful. Come on, let's hurt each other," Yun Chujio said with a smile. Only one thought flashed through Heisher and the others' minds. Are you fucking crazy? Heisher and the others were dumbfounded. What kind of trick is this little ancestor playing? This is the first time I've heard of him telling his trump card before a fight. Are you out of your mind? That Windblade Mad Panther was clearly confused as well. Didn't they say that humans were sinister and cunning? Why does this little girl seem to be not very smart? Yun Chujio saw the wild Windblade Panther standing there in a daze. She raised her voice and said, "Hey, little cat, could it be that my little 9 thunderbolt needles scared you silly? Are you going to fight or not? If you aren't going to fight, then obediently establish a temporary contract with me and become my mount." The wild Windblade Panther finally came back to its senses and thought, "Pooey. You are the cat? Your whole family are cats. Being your mount, are you riding on the panther's butt? Shameless." The wild Windblade Panther howled and pounced towards Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio dodged as she said with a smile, "That's right. It's so interesting to hurt each other like this." Interesting? It should be sick. Heisher and the others watched the battle while silently cursing in their hearts. The wild Windblade leopard was on guard against Yun Chujio's small needle of spiritual power, so it would use the wind blade to hit the small needle of spiritual power during the battle. However, in this way, although it would not be injured, its attack power would also be reduced by a lot. Therefore, the man and the leopard fought for a long time, but there was still no winner. In the blink of an eye, 4 hours had passed. Yun Chujio became more and more courageous as she fought. "Kitten, you are indeed more powerful than the other demon beasts. Come, let's fight for 300 rounds. No one is allowed to leave until the winner is decided." The wild Windblade leopard was so tired that it panted heavily. Hearing Yun Chujio's words, its 4 legs went weak and it almost lay on the ground. Damn it, this stupid girl was not human at all. After fighting for so long, she was still so lively. It was simply killing the leopard. Another 2 hours passed. The wild Windblade leopard laid on the ground helplessly and panted heavily. It was obvious that he was too tired to get up. Yun Chujio pursed her lips and said, "Kitten, aren't you too useless? It has only been a short while, and you can't fight anymore?" The wild Windblade leopard was about to break down. Just a short while? 6 hours in a short while? Whatever. This leopard can't fight anymore. Yun Chujio saw that the wild Windblade leopard really couldn't fight anymore. She said with a smile, "Little cat, I see that your movements are quite agile. How about this? You stay and be my sparring partner. If you can beat me, I'll let you go. If you keep losing, I'll let you go when I'm tired of fighting." The wild Windblade leopard was still gasping for air, but when it heard Yun Chujio's words, it fainted. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes and turned to Heisher and the others. This kitten must have fainted from happiness. Come, let's roast meat. I'm hungry after playing for so long. Pan Zero, Sim Haysher and the other's eyes twitched violently. Fainted from happiness. Perhaps this Windblade Mad Leopard felt that it had no more hope in life. Everyone started a bonfire and started to roast the meat. When the Windblade Mad Leopard woke up, it smelled the aroma of the roasted meat. Its stomach began to growl uncontrollably, and the desire to eat instantly overcame the desire to escape. Yun Chujio saw that the Windblade Mad Leopard had woken up, so she picked up a piece of roasted meat and threw it to it. Kitten, this is for you. The wild Windblade Leopard was a foodie. It was not afraid that Yun Chujio would drug the barbecued meat, so it began to munch on it. At this moment, the wild Windblade Leopard only had one thought. This barbecued meat was indeed better than raw meat. Haysher and the others saw that not only did the Windblade Mad Leopard not run away, it even started to eat the roasted meat. They could only sigh at how demonic beasts were demonic beasts. No matter how delicious the roasted meat was, it was still not as important as its life. It was really stupid. Yun Chujio did not have that much roasted meat to feed the Windblade Mad Leopard. She directly threw it a raw Windblade Mad Cow's hind leg. Then she said, "You stay and fight with me. I will provide you with food and drink. Before you leave, I will give you a few pills to stop the bleeding. How about it? This is a good deal." The wild Windblade Leopard rolled its huge eyes. Anyway, there was food and drink. It could also get the pills to stop the bleeding. Why not? Seeing that the wild Windblade Leopard nodded in agreement, Yun Chujio nodded with satisfaction. "Since you agree, then we will continue to fight in an hour." Haysher and the others were dumbfounded. Humans and demonic beasts could still be traded? Oh God, such a thing was simply unheard of. This little ancestor was indeed a pervert. An hour later, Yun Chujio and the wild Windblade Leopard started fighting again. 6 hours later, the miserable wild Windblade Leopard collapsed to the ground again. This fellow regretted it. Oh my God. This was not a fight. This was the rhythm of exhausting the leopard to death. To be sobbed, this leopard regretted it. However, when the aroma of the roasted meat spread again, this guy felt that it was not a big deal. If he was tired, so be it. This way, he could quickly increase his spiritual power. Therefore, in the next few days, the wild Windblade Leopard kept repeating the cycle of regret and no regret. Yun Chujio felt that the wild Windblade Panther was no longer challenging, so she said mercifully, "Kitten, you can go now." The wild Windblade Panther was a little confused. It didn't need to train with it anymore? Why did it suddenly feel like it was abandoned by the whole world? The wild Windblade Panther took the few super-grade blood coagulation pills that Yun Chujio handed to it and left reluctantly. Yun Chujio shouted behind it, "Hey, kitten, why don't you be my mount for a few more days?" Haysher and the others felt that the wild Windblade Leopard would definitely leave without looking back. After all, demonic beasts all advocated freedom, so how could they be willing to be a human mount? And Zero, everyone's thoughts stopped abruptly when they saw the wild Windblade Leopard coming back. Well, not all demonic beasts had integrity. This guy was just trying to eat the shameless ones. In the next few days, Yun Chujio rode the wild Windblade Leopard and began to challenge around this area. Before the beasts fought each other, they would practice the power of the small spiritual needles before they started to fight. After beating the beasts until they were half dead, they didn't kill them. Instead, they waited until the beasts recovered their strength before they started the second round of fighting. It was an endless cycle until the beasts felt that it was no longer challenging. Only then would they let go of the beast that was tormented so much that it wanted to commit suicide. Very quickly, all the demonic beasts in this area knew that a freaking pervert riding a leopard had come to the fallen phoenix forest. Fire, lightning, and pervert, they all hid from her. Hence, Yun Chujio tragically discovered that all the demonic beasts in this area had disappeared. What's going on? Where did all the demonic beasts go? Forget it. Since there are no more demonic beasts in this area, let's go deeper in. Yun Chujio sat on the body of the wild Windblade Leopard and said while stroking her chin, Although Heisher and the others couldn't figure out the thoughts of the demonic beasts, they could still guess some of them. How dare you ask? Those demonic beasts must have fled with their families. With your fighting style, not to mention the demonic beasts, even humans would collapse, okay? Miss, the demonic beasts inside are all above level 31, at least equivalent to a human cultivator at the first level of the Lingxian realm. Although you can challenge those at a higher level, the gap between the Lingxian realm and the spiritual venerable realm is like a gully. You'd better not take the risk, Heisher advised earnestly. This is the only way to have a challenge. What's there to be afraid of? If not, I still have talismans. Blow it up. Kitten, don't go in. You'll probably be scared to death when you see those high-level demon beasts. Yun Chujio jumped down from the body of the wild wind blade leopard. She patted the wild wind blade leopard and said, although the wild wind blade leopard couldn't bear to barbecue meat, it was more afraid of the high-level demon beasts inside. It could only turn around and leave reluctantly. Little cat, if you want to eat barbecue meat, it'll give you an idea. Since you're still a single leopard, can't you just find a fire-type demon beast as your wife? Whenever you want to eat barbecue meat, just let your wife barbecue it for you. Yun Chujio shouted as she pulled her neck. The wild wind blade leopard suddenly felt that it had opened the door to a new world. What the little girl said made sense. If I find a fire-type demon beast as my wife, everything will be solved. That's great. Thus, Heisher and the others saw the wild windblade leopard leave with 4 legs. The corners of everyone's eyes twitched violently. For the sake of a mouthful of roasted meat, they didn't even consider the difference in race. This might be the highest realm for foodies. Everyone continued to advance into the fallen phoenix forest, and very soon, they met a wild windblade bear. Heisher hurriedly said to Yun Chujio, Miss, although this wild windblade bear is a level 31 demon beast, its body is extremely strong and difficult to deal with. It's better if we work together to kill it. Yun Chujio waved her hand. I'll try it first. If it doesn't work, you guys can attack again. Heisher could only give a few more instructions before he watched the battle from the side with fear. That wind-edge violent bear didn't put Yun Chujio and the others in its eyes at all. Although its spiritual power wasn't as high as Heisher and the others, its skin was thick and it had the geographical advantage. If it couldn't beat them, it would just run away. Unexpectedly, those people just stood by the side and didn't move. Instead, a little girl with the lowest spiritual power walked up and said with a smile, Little bear, I see that your bones are very strange. You're a good sparring partner. Stay and be my sparring partner for a few days. The violent windblade bear opened its eyes wide and didn't react for a long time. Was this little girl a lunatic or a fool? Little bear? Such a small one actually said it was small? Was there something wrong with its eyes? Also, what the hell was a sparring partner? This time, Yun Chujio didn't show off the small needles of spiritual power. While the violent windblade bear was still in a daze, several small needles of spiritual power went straight for the violent windblade bear. The violent windblade bear obviously didn't care about the small needles of spiritual power either. It randomly used its claws to pull off a portion. Although the remaining small needles of spiritual power shot onto its body, they couldn't penetrate its hard fur at all. After the explosion, only a few tufts of its fur were burnt. Heisher and the others became even more worried when they saw this. It seemed that the small spiritual needles could deal with low-level demon beasts, but its effect on high-level demon beasts was really limited. They didn't know if this little ancestor could use the intermediate physical transformation technique. Oh, the violent windblade bear saw that a few tufts of its fur had been burnt. It flew into a rage out of humiliation and threw a few huge wind blades at Yun Chujio. Although Yun Chujio had dodged the wind blades, she was in an extremely sorry state. A part of her hair had even been cut off. This fellow was furious. Fuck. Little bear, how dare you touch my hair? If I don't shave you into a bald bear today, I won't be human. Bald bear? Heisher and the others were both anxious and angry. Dear ancestor, you'd better save your little life first. Upon hearing this, The violent Windblade Bear was also so angry that it howled in anger. "You little brat who overestimated yourself, I'll cut you into pieces." The Windblade Leopard Bear once again shot out a few wind blades at Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio hurriedly dodged them. Although she dodged them, she was still in a very sorry state. This fellow could not help but sigh. The gap between the levels of spiritual power was indeed huge. No matter how fast one's movement technique was trained, it was still not enough without the assistance of spiritual power. The man and the bear fought together, and Yun Chujio was clearly at a disadvantage. The Windblade Bear only needed to protect its weak parts, but Yun Chujio had to constantly dodge the wind blades of the Windblade Bear, making her look very miserable. Heisher and the others stomped their feet anxiously, thinking to themselves, "Doesn't our little ancestor have a talisman seal and some chili dough? Why didn't she use it? When will she stop hiding like this?" Of course, Yun Chujio knew that using the talisman seal and chili dough would make her life a lot easier. However, those were life-saving methods that she had no choice but to use. Now that it was a trial, she didn't need to use them if she could. Seeing that Yun Chujio was being forced into a sorry state by it, the violent Windblade Bear howled arrogantly, full of provocation. "Little bear, do you really think that I can't beat you? It seems that I have to release my spiritual beast." Yun Chujio curled her lips and said, Heisher and the other spirits were lifted. So this little ancestor could transform into a spiritual beast. It was just that they didn't know what kind of flying beast she transformed into. When the violent Windblade Bear heard Yun Chujio's words, it also raised its vigilance. What was this brat's spiritual beast? From what she said, it seemed to be very powerful. It was better to be careful. Yun Chujio raised her hand, and a cute little piglet of spiritual power pounced towards the violent Windblade Bear. Whether it was Heisher and the others or the violent Windblade Bear, they were all dumbfounded. What she transformed into was actually a pig. And a piglet? What kind of joke was this? What kind of attack power could this piglet have? Could it be that it was planning to kill its enemies with cuteness? The violent Windblade Bear waved its bare paw disdainfully, trying to disperse the spiritual energy piglet. Unexpectedly, the spiritual energy piglet firmly clung onto his bare paw with its pig trotter and took a bite. Although the bare paw of the violent Windblade Bear was tough and thick, it was still in pain after being bitten by the piglet. It quickly shook and pulled the piglet, finally breaking it apart. Heisher and the others frowned. Although this spiritual energy piglet still seemed to have a bit of offensive power, once the violent Windblade Bear was prepared, it would be useless to use the wind blades to attack it. The violent Windblade Bear obviously thought so too. It rolled its eyes in disdain and threw a few wind blades at Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio bared her white teeth at the violent Windblade Bear. Spiritual Piglet number 1, number 2. Number 20 attacked together. Heisher and the others' mouths twitched. What was that? Number 1? Number 2? Number 20? Stop joking. This spiritual piglet should be a high-level physical transformation technique. Since it was a high-level physical transformation technique, how could there be 2? Not to mention 20. Then, a scene that they would never forget for the rest of their lives appeared. They saw an endless stream of spiritual piglets pouncing towards the wind blades. What was even more shocking was that the spiritual piglets actually began to devour the wind blades. Oh my God! The figures of the spirit piglets actually became more corporeal. This meant that they were actually able to absorb the spirit energy of the wind blades for their own use. This was too inconceivable. Heisher and the others were dumbfounded. The violent Windblade Bear was also dumbfounded. Oh my God, this little girl is too strange. How could she conjure so many spiritual beasts? Moreover, these spiritual beasts could actually devour its wind blades for their own use. It was too abnormal. The violent Windblade Bear was also too shocked. Logically speaking, you are in a fight. You are not here to watch the show. You should pay more attention. This fellow, on the other hand, stared at the spiritual piglets with his big eyes and didn't move at all. Those spiritual piglets were very smart, and a few of them pounced on the violent Windblade Bear. The violent Windblade Bear only reacted when it felt pain, and began to use its bare paw to hit the spiritual piglets on its body. The other spiritual piglets also pounced on the violent Windblade Bear when they saw this. Some bit their ears, some bit their nose, and some bit their tails. The Windblade Bear was in pain and anxious. Its wind blades could only be used to attack from a distance. It could only use its paws to hit the bear and even roll on the ground. Yun Chujio could have used her spiritual needles to attack the Windblade Bear's weak parts and take its life. However, it wanted to keep it as a sparring partner, so it used purple lightning to strike the Windblade Bear's big head. The Windblade Bear was really unlucky. A few tufts of its fur had been bitten off by the spiritual piglets, and black smoke kept coming out of its big head. It was in a very sorry state. The Windblade Bear was so angry that it gnashed its teeth. However, it felt that after this wave of spiritual piglets dissipated, Yun Chujio could not release another wave immediately. At that time, it would use this opportunity to kill Yun Chujio. Unexpectedly, once the spiritual power piglets dissipated, Yun Chujio would immediately release new spiritual power piglets to replace them. There were still 20 spiritual power piglets on the violent Windblade Bear's body that were biting it. A moment later, Yun Chujio took out a basin of water from her storage ring and threw it at the violent Windblade Bear. Then she giggled and said, "Little bear, how is it? Do you feel cool? I'm a man of my words. You are now a bald little bear. Ha!" Oh, the violent Windblade Bear touched its head with its paw and indeed, it became naked. It was so angry that it roared and pounced on Yun Chujio. It was so angry that it was going to go crazy. It did not care if it still had the piglet of spiritual power on it. Anyway, it would not be able to bite it to death in a short time. It would first kill this stupid girl. "Yo, little bear, are you very satisfied with your new hairstyle? Since you like it so much, how do you feel if I shave all your fur? Are you surprised? Are you surprised?" Yun Chujio jumped up and down as she dodged. She said with a smile, "Surprise my ass." The violent Windblade Bear was so angry that it forgot to use the wind blade. It roared and chased after Yun Chujio. It only had one thought in its mind, and that was to kill Yun Chujio to get rid of its shame. Damn it, there was no way to see a beast anymore. In tens of thousands of years, it was the first demon beast to have its head shaved off. It was hopeless. Yun Chujio was running while mumbling, "Little bear, you don't have to thank me too much. The thing I like to do the most is to help others. No, it's to help beasts. Little bear, how nice is this bald head? Isn't there a good saying? A smart head doesn't have hair. This bald head is a symbol of wisdom. Besides, it's not as cool as having hair. It can even be illuminated at night. It's simply a good thing to kill two birds with one stone." 2 hours later, the Windblade Violent Bear's huge body crashed to the ground, and it actually fainted out of anger. Heisher and the others' faces were stiff. To be able to make a demonic beast faint out of anger was probably unprecedented. This was too abnormal. In fact, the violent Windblade Bear was not completely angered by Yun Chujio. It was huge, and after chasing Yun Chujio for so long, its physical strength was somewhat exhausted. In addition, although the little piglet's bite was not fatal, it gathered a lot of spiritual energy. It also lost a lot of blood, and coupled with the anger attacking its heart, it fainted. Seeing that the violent Windblade Bear fainted, Yun Chujio walked in front of it and pouted, "No wonder people say that stupid bears are stupid bears. This bear is really stupid. I didn't say anything. Why did it faint from anger? Its ability to resist pressure is too weak." Heisher and the others lit the candle for the violent Windblade Bear. It could not escape from the little pervert's claws. After a while, the Windedge Bear woke up and saw Yun Chujio saying with a smile, "Little bear, come, let's continue fighting for 300 rounds. The Windedge Bear remembered its bald head and looked at the spots on its body. It roared and pounced on Yun Chujio. The man and the bear started fighting again. This time, the Windedge Leopard Bear had learned its lesson. When Yun Chujio released the piglet of spiritual power, It used the wind blade to hit and dodge at the same time to prevent the piglet of spiritual power from getting close to it. It thought that if that was the case, Yun Chujio would not be able to do anything to it. It did not expect Yun Chujio to have a small needle of spiritual power. Although the small needle of spiritual power was not enough to kill it, it would burn off a small tuft of its fur after it exploded. The Windblade Bear saw that the fur on its body was becoming less and less, and it was on the verge of collapse. This bear does not want to run naked. This bear does not want to run naked. Another 2 hours passed, and the violent Windblade Bear fainted on the ground again. This time, it was even worse than the last time, with only 1/3 of its fur remaining. It was simply too horrible to look at. Hey Sure and the others silently made up their minds. They absolutely could not offend this little ancestor. This fellow was really too abnormal. After the violent Windblade Bear woke up this time, it did not pounce on Yun Chujio. Instead, it staggered and turned around to run. It could not beat her, but it could not avoid her. This wretched girl was too perverted. If it continued to fight, the last bit of fur on its body would be burned away by her. Yun Chujio looked at its back and said faintly, "Little bear, I have a hair growth pill here. After applying it, I guarantee that you will grow a new body of fur in 3 days. Do you want it?" The violent Windblade Bear's heart sank into a painful dilemma. In the end, it came back obediently because it really did not want to run naked. If this image was seen by other female bears, God, it could only be a bachelor for the rest of its life. Hey Sure and the others lit the candle for the violent Windblade Bear. It was indeed a stupid bear. Did you think that this little pervert's medicinal pill was so easy to obtain? Just you wait and regret it. As expected, in the next 2 days, the violent Windblade Bear became Yun Chujio's sparring partner. The last bit of fur on its body was burned away, and it completely became a bare-bottomed bear. The Wind-Edge Bear wanted to cry, but it had no tears. Unfortunately, it had already boarded the pirate ship, so it could only hope that Yun Chujio was not lying to it, and that in the end she could really give it the hair-growing pill. On the morning of the 3rd day, Yun Chujio took out 2 bottles of hair-growing pills and said to Hey Sure and the others, "You guys apply this hair-growing pill on the bear, or else it will be a waste of its clumsy hands." Hey Sure and the others felt as if their hearts were going to explode. Apply hair-growing pills on the violent Windblade Bear. Oh, what a joke! What if the violent Windblade Bear became violent and attacked them? Don't worry, little bear is a good bear that keeps its word. It won't attack you. Besides, don't you still have me? If it dares to be disobedient, I will kill it, Yun Chujio said confidently. Hey Sure and the others saw that Yun Chujio's attitude was firm, so they could only start to apply the hair growth pill to the violent Windblade Bear with tears flowing down their faces. They had never dreamed of this scene, it was simply too weird. The violent Windblade Bear was also confused at this moment. Demonic beasts instinctively rejected humans, not to mention letting people get so close to them. However, in order not to run naked, it could only endure it. Finally, Hey Sure and the others finished applying hair-growing pills. Their foreheads were covered in cold sweat. What a joke! This was similar to pulling teeth from a tiger's mouth. Only the little ancestor could make such an absurd decision. Then why did Yun Chujio do this? Firstly, it was rare for this fellow to have a conscience. He felt that the Windblade Violent Bear was a little miserable. It was originally a majestic demonic beast, but now that it had been burned into a bare-bottomed bear by her, it was better to apply the hair growth pill on it. Secondly, she also wanted to take the opportunity to test if Hey Sure and the others were completely obedient to her orders. Little bear, you can leave now. Don't worry. In less than 3 days, your hair will grow back. I guarantee that it will be thicker than your original hair. Isn't there a saying that goes, if the old doesn't go, the new won't come? The violent Windblade Bear covered its ears and ran away as if it was flying. It didn't want to listen to the nonsense. Yun Chujio saw that the violent Windblade Bear had run far away and sighed. This sparring partner has run away. I still have to think of a way to catch another one. Hey Sure and the others mourned for the demonic beasts in this area for half an hour. The little ancestor was going to harm the demonic beasts again. As expected, the demonic beasts in this area would be in bad luck for the next period of time. Regardless of whether they were willing or not, in the end, Yun Chujio would use all kinds of methods to coerce them into submission. They would only be released after 2 days as sparring partners. He Shi and the others were surprised to find that Yun Chujio's progress was extremely fast. Although she had not leveled up, with the rapid improvement in her movement techniques and fighting experience, she was actually becoming more and more proficient in dealing with level 31 demonic beasts. 10 days later, Yun Chujio once again proposed to go deeper. He Shi knew that it was useless to persuade her, so he could only fearfully go deeper into the depths of 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 the depths. When Yun Chujio encountered the demonic beasts again, she no longer acted willfully. She no longer hid anything and went all out to fight the demonic beasts. Occasionally, when she was defeated, He Shi and the others would come forward to help. In the blink of an eye, another 10 days had passed. Yun Chujio felt that it was about time. It had been nearly a month and a half in total. It was time to return to the MO residence to take a look. Just as Yun Chujio was about to suggest returning, she suddenly realized that the fallen phoenix forest seemed to be a little hotter than before. He Shi and the others also noticed this problem and said one after another, "Strange, why is it suddenly getting hotter?" "Yeah, and it's getting hotter and hotter. There are no volcanoes in this fallen phoenix forest, so why is it suddenly getting hotter?" "Oh right, isn't it rumored that this fallen phoenix forest is the nirvana land of the phoenix? Could it be that something happened in the center?" Yun Chujio was about to speak when the excited voice of the little black bird sounded in her mind, "Master! Master! My chance to become stronger has finally arrived. Quick, quick, take me to the central area, there are good things there." Xiao Hanio's voice sounded in Yun Chujio's mind. Yun Chujio was so angry that she was twitching. "You dumms! Are you brainless? There are high-level demonic beasts in there, wouldn't I be courting death if I go in?" "Master, you have the fire-repelling pearl on you, so you don't have to be afraid no matter how hot it is. Besides, don't you have the shadow escape talisman that the old fox gave you? Didn't you still have some time left last time? Let's go in secretly and run away immediately after stealing the things. It will definitely be fine." Xiao Hanio said anxiously. "Bullshit. There is only a total of 15 minutes left. I wouldn't be able to go in and come out in time even if I was flying legs." Yun Chujio was so angry that she kept twitching. Master, don't you still have a few hundred sacks of sudden rupture talismans? What's there to be afraid of? At most, it'll just blow them up. Master, I've risked my life with you. I learned crow call for you. I was kicked by a gigolo because of you. I did it for you. Enough. Stop it. They'll go in alright. Their spiritual pets are helpers. I fucking raised an ancestor." Yun Chujio could not stand the little black bird's nagging and could only compromise. The little black bird immediately said obsequiously, "Master, master, you are indeed a peerless beauty, the city-toppling Xiao Hanio. I really love you to death. Don't worry, when I become stronger, it'll definitely help you torture the scum. When the time comes, when there are more enemies, you just need to stand at the back and leave the rest to me." Hearing the little black bird's words, Yun Chujio felt a little more comfortable. It made sense. If Xiao He became stronger, it could be considered an extra help when they encountered strong enemies in the future. He Shi and the others, wait outside the fallen phoenix forest. "I need to go in and take care of something," Yun Chujio said to He Shi and the others. He Shi and the others thought they heard wrong. "Miss, what did you say?" Yun Chujio said it again, but He Shi immediately stopped her. "No. Miss, you are courting death. The demonic beasts inside are very high level. Not to mention you, even your mysterious expert will die if he goes in." The other 5 people also agreed. "Miss, you can't be stupid. The demonic beasts inside are not only very high level, but they are all fire-type demonic beasts. They are very brutal. Miss, besides, the temperature has suddenly increased. Something must have happened inside. Maybe it's the eruption of the Earth's magma or something. If you go in, it's almost certain death. Seeing the anxious attitude of everyone, Yun Chujio was satisfied. These 6 people were really not bad, she smiled and said, I know what you're saying. Do you think I'm an idiot who doesn't have a brain? I naturally have my reasons. You can just wait outside. If anyone asks about my whereabouts, just say that we got separated. Don't say anything else. Heisher and the others tried to persuade Yun Chujio for a while until Yun Chujio turned hostile. Then they turned around and left. Little lunatic, you should leave too. I have the fire-repelling pearl and talisman on me to protect myself. Besides, I still have 5 puppets. If you follow me, they'll have to divert my attention to take care of you. It's too troublesome. Yun Chujio said to Enfeng, who was jumping over. Enfeng was in a dilemma. Of course, he was worried about Yun Chujio going in alone. However, he knew that what Yun Chujio said was the truth. Although his spiritual power level was not bad now. However, he might not have as many life-saving methods as Yun Chujio. Miss Jio, how about this? I'll escort you for a while. When we reach the most central area, I won't go in. Enfeng thought of a compromise. If Yun Chujio was really in danger, he could at least get closer. That's good too. Keep these talismans just in case. Yun Chujio passed a few sacks of super-grade burst talismans to Enfeng. The corner of Enfeng's eyes twitched. The first few sacks of super-grade burst talismans he took out were probably this ancestor in front of him. This chapter is a preview. If you want to see a faster and more up-to-date chapter, please visit for more content. Enfeng kept the talisman and accompanied Yun Chujio to the depths of Fallen Phoenix Forest. The deeper they went, the higher the temperature. Enfeng's clothes were soaked in sweat, but Yun Chujio was fine. Occasionally, she was in the mood to pick wild fruits and eat them. Enfeng could not help but curse in his heart. Evildoers were indeed evildoers. Little lunatic, I'll give you something good. I guarantee that you won't be hot anymore. Seeing that Enfeng was extremely hot, Yun Chujio took out a bead made from Guai Chao and handed it to Enfeng. Enfeng immediately felt a cool sensation when he held it in his hand. He could not help but click his tongue in wonder. Although Miss Jio was a disaster-prone person, she really had a lot of treasures on her. Enfeng released the pressure on his body, and many demon beasts avoided him. The 2 of them traveled smoothly and soon arrived at the center of Fallen Phoenix Forest. The plants and trees here were also different from those in the outer area. They were all heat-resistant species, and even the soil on the ground was crimson red. Little lunatic, just wait for me here. Anyway, we have a voice transmission talisman, so we can contact each other at any time, Yun Chujio said to Enfeng in a low voice. N0 Enfeng could only nod his head and give some instructions. Then, he jumped onto a thick tree and waited. Yun Chujio did not immediately activate the Shadow Escape Talisman. She still had to save this thing to save her life, so she decided to take a look first. The strange thing was that after Yun Chujio had walked for almost an hour, she did not encounter a single demon beast. This area was very quiet, and there was even a bit of strangeness to it. Yun Chujio felt even more uneasy. If something was abnormal, there must be a demon. Something must have happened, and it might be related to the thing that Xiaohei was looking for. After walking for a while, there were faint roars of beasts and cries of demonic birds. Moreover, there were quite a number of them. Could it be that the demonic beasts and demonic birds had gathered together? Were they having a meeting? Yun Chujio was even more cautious. Finally, she saw many demonic beasts gathered in front of her through the gaps in the trees. There were also many demonic birds on the branches. Yun Chujio suddenly remembered a very important question. She scolded Xiaohei. Xiaohei, you idiot! The Shadow Escape Talisman is only useful for demonic beasts below level 37. The demonic beasts here are definitely more than level 37. What's the use of this damn thing? Xiaohei was scolded until it shrunk its neck, it rolled its bean-like eyes and said, Master, I was indeed careless in this matter. However, you are such a smart person, how can you use the Shadow Escape Talisman? As long as you use your intelligence, you will definitely be safe and sound. Master, I believe in you. Bah! Flattery is useless. Is the thing inside really important to you? It is very, very important. Obtaining that thing is equivalent to me cultivating for at least 1,000 years, Xiao Hanyo said seriously. Alright, since that's the case, I'll go all out. If I die, you won't be able to recover either. Yun Chujio gritted her teeth and said, the scourge lives for 10,000 years. Master, you'll definitely be fine. Xiao Hanyo flapped its short wings and said obsequiously, get lost. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes and no longer deliberately hid her figure. She swaggered forward. Soon, some demonic birds and beasts noticed Yun Chujio, but for some reason, they did not attack Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio's heart skipped a beat, and she continued to hop forward. One after another, the demonic birds and beasts issued warnings, but Yun Chujio continued to hop forward as if she did not hear them. Finally, Yun Chujio walked to the front of the group of demonic beasts and widened her eyes in surprise. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.